Okay, ladies. Those of you that were with me last night, in the middle of everything, I lost my internet. So that was the reason for the abrupt end last night. My internet just went, and that was it. Hi, CJ. Hi, Lynn. So when I left, or when the internet left, I was going to let you guys know the kinds of things you needed to get together for when we do our soldering, in case you don't have supplies or don't know what kind of supplies you need. So I'll leave a little bit of time for a few people to pop on in so that I don't repeat myself, 10 times. Hi, Linda. I know there's a couple of sales on earlier today. I don't know if they're still on, so maybe a bunch of people will be over there. So they may have to watch the replay if they want to get the info. Is it cold where you are, CJ? I'm sure it is. Dumb question, right? Yesterday it didn't go above like 40 degrees. Today it was like 58. Tomorrow is supposed to be 71. Sunday is supposed to be high 60s. And then Monday night, some cold front's going to come in, and the high is supposed to be like 30 something on Tuesday, with a possibility of some flurries or ice or something. So I don't know. Oh, now you get the 70s. Oh my goodness. This weather here is crazy. Crazy, crazy. Don't know what we're going to do. Okay, so, okay. Why is my camera moving so much? I haven't quite figured that one out. I've got something leaning against something, but I don't want to move anything right now because who knows what'll happen. Oh yeah, that's right, Scotty. That's what I was saying. It's supposed to be going to be crazy. Some things coming in on Monday night, and it's going to be wacky doodle again. So I got some little the de-icer stuff for dogs, because the regular de-icer, can really irritate the little pads of the dogs. So on our ramp that we have out in the back, I got some, so it's going to be doggy proof. So I bought that yesterday, just in case. All right, so I'm going to explain what we need, just in like as if you don't, have never done it before, don't know what's used. So that way I cover everything. All right, so tomorrow is my sale. So we're not going to be doing this tonight or tomorrow. I'm just telling you about the supplies. I figure we could probably do it next weekend, and that'll give you guys time, if you want to play along, and if you want to do it, it'll give you time to buy the supplies for yourself. Hey, Jennifer. So all right, so I'll show you what I use, and you may have other things that you can substitute for doing this. Now, what I have are these microscope slides. I've had these for years, and I'm not sure where I got them, but I'm pretty sure if you can't find them in your area, Amazon has them. And these are 1x3. Okay. Hey, Darla. Just showing everybody what the supplies are for when we actually do it. So if you guys want to buy your supplies, you know what I use. Okay, so these are, obviously they're very thin, so it's real easy to work with. And I don't have a big one to show you, but if you followed when I was altering that large vintage photo album, that woman that's the one that turns, she's done in this size, in the size that it comes. Now these, what I did is I just cut these in half, and that created this size. And then, was it in quarters or in thirds? I think I cut these in thirds, and I came up with this size. Okay, so that's what I used for those. So you only need the one size, and you can create the different sizes. And this was not expensive at all. Well, I got it a while back, so I shouldn't say it's not expensive. It wasn't expensive when I got it. All right, so that's one thing you can use. Now, I'm sure you've seen these, I don't even know what they're called, glass pebbles or something. You get them in the floral department. You can get them at the Dollar Tree. You can get them, like at Michael's and Hobby Lobby, and they come, in that bag that's like a net. And that's how I did this one. So that's how you do that. As far as how I cut them, hold on one second. I think I have everything in here. If I don't, then I'm in trouble. I'm going to have to go on the hunt. There's a little, where is it? Well, maybe it's not in here. There are little glass cutters. Oh, I wish I could show you. I thought I had it in here. Where would it be? Anyway, it's a glass cutter, and it's I don't know how to explain what it looks like. It's about the size of like a pencil or something like this, but it has the what do you call it? The blade on the bottom that cuts it. And they're about this size. They're not very expensive. All that I do know, they're not expensive. You can get those again, everything you can get on Amazon. You can also get them at a hardware store. Any hardware store will have them. Like if you have Ace Hardware, Home Depot, Lowe's, anything like that, that would have them. So that you would need. Let's pretend this is the cutter, part of our supplies. I thought for sure it was in here. Now I'm worried. I'm gonna have to go buy me a cutter. I don't know where my cutter is. Oh my goodness, how strange. Okay, it might show up. It might be here in all this mess. Yeah, right. Okay. Okay, let's stay on track here, and then we'll back up and I'll answer any questions that you guys have. Okay, so you need some kind of source that you're going to put, whatever you're going to do your soldering on. Now, it doesn't really even have to be all this stuff, but this is the easiest way to start, as opposed to trying to figure out a pendant and all this other kind of stuff. That gets a lot more involved. So let's stick with some kind of a thin glass. And this is about the thinnest I could find it is this way. And then one day on a sale, I think it was on Johnny's sale. I can't remember. Isn't that awful? I should have written the name on there. I think it was Johnny. But anyway, somebody was selling these. And it was pretty cool. It already had a hole in it. So they're too thick for me to double them to wedge, something in between. But you still could put something on top and do some soldering around it, and maybe I always think in terms of journals or something, and you could still put that on a journal and look pretty cool with all the soldering around that. So I have those. Okay. Okay, so you need some type of glass, you know, no matter what type it is, you need some kind of glass. You need you're going to need some some kind of foil tape. This brand is Master Foil. I've seen this at Home Depot. No, excuse me. Erase that. I've seen this at Michael's. I've seen it at Hobby Lobby. You can also get this again on Amazon. Um, and depending on the thickness of the glass you think you might be using would kind of determine the width of the copper that you're going to get. This particular one is 1/2 inch, and I found that this works pretty good. If I go for something thinner, then all I have to do, because it has if you haven't worked with this before, it has a adhesive backing. So when you take that off, so it makes it easy to cut it. And then you can just cut it with a pair of scissors. So if you're going to deal with something that's super thin, you can pre-cut that and use it in something thinner like this. Because see, this is way too thick. It would go around too much. So I cut this in half when I do this. When I did this, I left it in its full size. So I would suggest getting this size because you can work with the bigger items and you can very easily just cut it down if you're going to do with the thin ones. So that would be a 1/2 inch that I would suggest that you buy. All right. Next thing on the list, you have to get some kind of flux. It comes in liquid form. It comes in paste form. This just cost me a couple of dollars. I got this at Home Depot. They have it again at any place where they sell different types of soldering stuff. So if you just go to the tool department in Home Depot or Lowe's or any kind of a hardware store, you would be able to find that. If you don't have those around you, again, you can always go to Amazon and they have some kind of a flux. All right. And I just use the paste just because I'm a klutz and I don't want to get the liquid. And I've had this forever. It lasts you forever. And it's not very expensive either. All right. Now to put the flux on, it is suggested that, and I'm sure you've seen these, you know, just these little utilitarian type of brushes. And I have one that I just use all the time and it just stays soft. And I use the same one over and over. When I have some areas that might be a little more delicate, I will use a Q-tip sometimes, the more the pointy kind, and I'll just get some of the Q-tip and maybe go on a little edge that I miss or something. So I'm not using this big old globby thing. Okay, so you need to get some flux and have something that you can apply the flux with. All right. And then you're going to need some solder. And I don't even know if they sell it anymore with lead, but you want to make sure it says lead free. Maybe they do, maybe they don't. I don't know, but you don't want to be messing around with lead. So you get some kind of soldering. It doesn't have to be this thick because, you know, you're going to liquefy it when you get your soldering gun to it. I just happened to get this because my husband had this already for some other stuff that he was working on. So I just basically appropriated it. So when he starts looking for it, he's going, I can't find it. You know, I have to tell him, it's over here, dear. So you need something like that. It doesn't have to be obviously that big. It's just that's what my husband had. Here is an example of something thinner, probably something in between if you're going to buy it would probably be, you know, a better thing to do. Let me see. Does this have sizes? I'm sure it has the size on it. Where would it say that? There's a lot of numbers, but I don't think any of those say the size. It says 16 ounce, but that's not, I don't know. This one says 0.062. I don't see a number reflecting that here. But anyway, I say something in between that, or, really anything. Just as long as, and it doesn't have to be water safe. That's just water safe because my husband used it on some plumbing. But it can be any kind of solder. Will be fine. All right, so you need some solder. And what else? You'll need something. You might have stuff around. You're going to need something to hold this with, because when you start soldering, this gets hot. So it isn't like, you can hold here and solder over here and then let it cool down and move. No, it's too hot. So you need something, something like this, some kind of little clip that you can hold on to it and do the soldering. So something, like this. Again, if you have a Harbor Tools store, they have all of this stuff super cheap. I'm not too sure of the foil, but all the rest of the stuff, Harbor Tools will have it. That's another place to go to if you have one close to you. And if you don't, you can order online at Harbor Tools, and they'll mail it to you. So that's another outlet or avenue in case you don't have these particular stores close to you. All right, so last but not least, you need a soldering gun. Now, what do I have in here? Oh, I think these are, see, I find things when I look for stuff for you guys. Oh yeah, these are heads too. It's okay, I'm just talking to myself. Just talking to myself. These are different tips that I have. Whoops, where's the tip to that? Oh, never mind. So these are the different ones that I have that I use for different things, because I use some of these with my encaustic work. So I kind of separate the heads that I use for different things that I need them for. This is the one that I always use for my soldering. Now, there's a whole big price range. If you go to Harbor Freight Tools online, they have them as cheap as $5. Of course, it doesn't have a lot of attachments, but you don't need a lot of attachments. It just has, one head, and that's it, and that's all you need. And then they go all the way up to, maybe $30, $40 because they have a lot of attachments. I have this one that I happened to get on sale one day that I went to Home Depot, and it just happened to be really priced really low. It was like more than half off. So I think it only cost me like about $10. I think it's usually maybe like $25, and it's because it comes with all these different sizes. And unless you're going to be doing other types of work with your soldering gun, because you can use it to to burn in wood if you have the really thin tips. If you get some plastic, you could do some of your own stencils. There's different things you can use it for. And then again, I use it when I do my encaustic work. I like to use that. So I like the different heads because I can make different patterns in my encaustic. So this whole thing, like I say, costs maybe about $25 regular price. But again, if you go to Harbor Tools, I just went there right before I went on, and there was one for $4.99. So can't beat that. All right. So that is, I think, I hope, the basic tools. Now, what you need to do is get either a piece of like a big piece of ceramic tile. When I say big, I mean, at least 12 by 12, or get yourselves a cookie sheet from the Dollar Tree, only $1. But you need something that you can sit this hot element on while you're working. And as you work with this, it's naturally, you're going to drip some of this solder, and you need it to land on something that obviously is not flammable. And so you need something like that when you're working, it can land on. Also, you're going to need you're going to need a sponge that's seen better days, but it needs to be wet, your sponge, and it needs to be over on the area where you have your if you have your tile or whatever it is you're going to choose to use. Have this wet, because what you're going to be doing when you're soldering, the lead, gets on here, and the way you clean this in between uses, you go like that, and the liquid and the steam and the coolness and the heat, that's how you clean it off. And you need to keep doing that, or else it'll have a buildup, and then it's not gonna work properly, because it's going to be like a big ball of solder. So you need to have something wet to clean this off with every time you use it in between, your soldering. So get yourself a big old sponge. Let me see what else that I can think of right now. Well, let me see what you guys have been saying, and that might spark an answer. Oh, Scotty's out. Her attorney says she can't play. Okay, well, no real questions yet. All right. Yes, you are right, Miss Singing in the Rain. It needs to be ventilated. Now, what I do is I have an exhaust fan here in my studio, and I flip the exhaust fan on. You can also wear one of those little masks, that have a little filter through it. That's helpful. You can have like a little, how some people on their desks, they have like a little tiny fan. If you have a little fan and you're pushing, off into a different direction. But yes, that's an excellent point, because, well, once I started doing it and it started going, then I'd remember, oh, I forgot to mention you guys. Yes. So keep that in mind. Now, I know it's hard now, because in a lot of places, it's cold. You're not going to have your windows open. But if you're going to do this, it wouldn't hurt to have it cracked open and have a fan, and even maybe have one of those paper masks on you, while you're doing it, just to be safe. Um, hey, Lucy, I didn't see you come in. Yeah, Weller is a pretty good brand. Um, so I was happy to get this on sale. And my first one I ever got that happened to be the same brand. So now there's another gizmo. A friend got me this. Hold on one second. Aha! I went to go find the other gizmo and my cutter was there. This is what a glass cutter looks like. And that right there is the wheel that does the cutting. And this is what we're supposed to whack it with. All right. So that looks like. All right. A friend of mine got this for me. Now, this is sold as a plastic welding kit. I don't even know what a plastic welding kit is. I don't know what it's used for. It has something to do with construction stuff. I looked it up and I still didn't understand it. But the point was, for whatever reason, this thing was only $10. And the reason they got it for me was the fact that it had, and it's the only attachment, it had this big old fat head on it, which is perfect for my encaustic. It's almost like a mini iron, right? So, and look how big and chunky and everything. It comes with all this stuff that I have no idea what any of this stuff is for. But super cheap, and it had that head. And for this attachment alone, is like $15. I saw it as much as 20 some dollars to fit into one of these. So whenever I need to use this like an iron, I just bring that one out and all done. He just got me this recently, so I haven't played with it yet, but I'm looking forward to it. Playtime. Okay, so I think as far as stuff that you're going to need to have on hand, and you need to get yourselves, if you're going to make necklaces, I don't know what you guys intend to make, you need to get some jump rings. And if you want to make, something goofy like this, you need to get yourself some like junk jewelry, maybe. And this isn't even real. I mean, this is like this is fake stuff, And when you put the flux, it, not everything, but most things will solder. So, if you have a drawer, with broken jewelry, that would be fun to play with, to make something. Let me see what else. Let me look. Yeah, and those rheostrats don't cost that much. I think my husband has one in the garage. But that's good too when you're doing the encaustic also, because if you're not everything, things that have regulators on them, they're not always accurate. They're not always the same. And so when it comes to the encaustic also, you want to keep it at a a certain temperature. So that's also good to have in that case. Oh my goodness, Darla, that's horrible. Oh, I've heard of stuff like that happen before. I was always so conscious with all that stuff because we had parrots for like about 15 years, or maybe a little bit longer, maybe 20 years, um, and they're very very sensitive to that. Yeah, exactly. So, oh, I know. I was so attached to those birds. I never gave. I mean, as far as having them as a pet, I never gave it, much thought because I didn't like the idea of them being, having a bird in a cage. It just didn't appeal to me at all. Um, but through different circumstances, we ended up rescuing one, and when you rescue it, I mean, it's dependent upon you. It isn't like you can just let them loose. And then word gets around when you're dumb enough to rescue something. Everybody wants you to rescue something else that they hear about. So we ended up having quite a few parrots at one point. So they have such a cute personality. You wouldn't think that they have a personality, but just like the dogs and cats, they're very unique. Oh no, Donna. Yeah, we had a Malukan cockatoo, and at night when we watched TV, she liked to sit on my husband's lap and get all curled up and lay upside down with her feet up in the air like she was dead and be held like she was a cat or something. Hi, Tanya. Yeah, they're a lot of fun, lots and lots of fun, and great personality, and they have a temper. Our cockatoo, she had a temper. It was so funny. And you couple that with the fact that they talk to you, then it's really freaky. They have a temper and then they're talking to you with their temper. It's like, okay, that's spooky. Okay, so do you have any particular questions about the supplies? So I can answer those. I mean, because if you're buying this stuff, you know, if you're getting like the cheapest one, you can get that for like $5. Um, this is going to cost you probably around a smaller one, probably cost you like $6. So you're up to $10. This just costs a couple of bucks, 10, 11. So I say $12 altogether there so far. And if you get a bag of these, that's just $1 at the dollar stores. We're up to $13. And this, I don't remember how much this costs anymore. This will be the most expensive thing you buy. Um, yeah, that's the most expensive thing you'll buy. And I don't know what it costs. It's been a while since I bought it. It lasts a long time. And these were not expensive. I can't remember the price, but if you end up with something like that, it's just a whole bag for $1. So you might think about that. Or you might have pieces of glass you know, from other stuff. Like I had this one. So, oh, and you got to get your cookie sheet from the Dollar Tree for $1. And your mask. Don't forget your mask. Oh, the Conyers. I love Conyers. We had one. Oh. Oh, that is so cool. Well, the whales, you know, they're so intelligent. That's cool. Alrighty then. What else? I can't think of anything else. Unless you guys can. Oh, and the jump rings. You gotta get some jump rings. You can get some of that stuff off of old jewelry too. Oh, and if you want to antique this, because when you solder, it's going to be it's going to be shiny, sort of like that. Where is that stuff? And if you think you're going to want to antique it, I got this on Amazon. Also, they sell different patinas. I happen to get the black one, and the black one, gives it the black look. And they have a couple of different colors. I didn't know how well it would work, so I only bought one, but I was very happy with it. So I might go back and get a different color of the patina. But also, too, this says the vapors are harmful, so you need to have it in a well-ventilated area. So that's another possibility. So I guess the bottom line is, if you have respiratory problems, don't do this until you can open up all your windows and put a mask on and put a fan. If you're in the part of the country where it's still warm, if you live in an area where you can open everything up, or even do it outside is even better. If you have, problems or respiratory problems, do it outside. That's about it. Would alcohol ink work? I would think so. I don't see why not. Let's try one. Let's try one. This one doesn't have too much of that stuff on there. Well, it does. It's got quite a bit. Let me see if I have one that I didn't age. I think I did them all, though. The ones I already had made. I don't see why not. It should work. Let me see. No, I don't have one that's plain. Oh, I lied. I do. Aha. Okay. Let's try it on there. Let me get something so I don't get myself all messed up. Just get a piece of paper. And put this all in here. Okay. And we'll see what happens. It'll probably look pretty cool. Oh, I need a napkin to clean it off of here. Hold on. These are drinking napkins. One more, and I'm going to be 50 Shades of Cray Cray. Okay. Rosemary, will you be selling some of these tomorrow in your kit? Selling what? These things? I hadn't thought of it. I hadn't thought of it. Okay. That's not laying too flat for me. Hold on. Hold on. I got something a little bit better. Should lay it a little flatter. There we go. Yeah, that's better. Let's see. You want to do a color, or you just want to see if we can? I guess it doesn't matter. Maybe either it works or it doesn't. Let's try something a little darker. I don't think I have black. Let me see what I have here. I don't even know what I have. Well, that looks a little dark. That looks a little too brown. Oh well, let's just try that. See what happens. Oh yeah, it works. You can tell already. Uh-oh, I hope it didn't go inside. No. Well, maybe it's not working. Hold on. Maybe it doesn't. But why wouldn't it work? Oh, maybe the flux on there puts a coating. Oh, it does a little bit. I think you would have to really clean off that flux because that flux is a little, almost feels like, almost like a Vaseline or something. And that might, I don't know if that's working. I don't think so. But I don't know why. All I can think of is the flux. Because that, I mean, it works on other metals. So my vote is it's the flux that is preventing it to absorb. I'm guessing. I'm not sure. Well, we'll experiment when next week. We'll experiment and see what happens. Oops, I don't want it all over me. It's still coming off. Maybe if you leave it overnight. But it doesn't work like it works on the other metals, that's for sure. Those other metals right away just suck it in. Well, that seems to stay a little bit there. I don't know. The answer is, I think we'll just have to play with it and find out. Yeah, I'm sure paint will work on it, but to me that defeats the whole purpose of having metal, and then you're just going to cover it with acrylic, you know. Um, to me, it's like, what's the point? Because I like to see the metal, and acrylics really don't let anything show through very well. But anyway, it did a little something, something. It did dull it a little bit. So anyway, and so like I prefaced the other day, I am not a person that claims to know how to solder. Um, I, you know, I I do not claim to know how to solder. All I know is that I play around with it and I make these things. I really don't know how to do anything else with it. I don't claim to know, but I was asked to show what I do know. So everything was with a disclaimer with me. And if you know how to do it and you're looking at me and you're going, oh my gosh, what the heck is she doing? I agree. I'm already saying up front, I don't know what I'm doing. So I'm just kind of sharing with you what I don't know how to do. And for those of you that really don't know how to do it either, well, then you'll be happy. But if you know what you're doing, please don't watch. You're just going to cringe. I don't pretend to know what I'm doing. Well, it's funny. I thought they would too. I've had a couple that I made like a year ago, and they haven't done anything. They're still, they were still just bright, and they really didn't create any kind of a patina. I was really kind of shocked about that. But I guess that's good in a way if you want it to be shiny. Um, I don't know. But it was fun. It's fun to do. I'm the type, as if you haven't already figured it out. I don't care if I don't know how to do something. I don't care if I do it wrong. I just want to have fun and experiment. I'm not out to be, a professional at anything. I'm just, happy to do it halfway, and that makes me happy. I don't care. Good thing, Darla. Although, if you need them soldered, I got the water safe solder there for you. It's all safe and ready to go. I got on a sale. I got some, I'll share it with you guys, because eventually I'm going to be doing something with them. But I got myself a whole bunch of junk jewelry. I shouldn't say junk jewelry because it's actually pretty cool. It was sold like junk jewelry, but if you ask me, they're pretty cool pieces. I'll show you some of them. And if nothing else, I'm an organizer. It's the only way, because I have so much junk. If I don't organize things, then I'll lose everything. So I put them all like in colors. So if I'm looking for a certain color, I know where to look for it. So, okay, Jennifer's here, right? Oh, there weren't too many. There was just a few that had like orange and coral colors in them. That's right. There wasn't hardly anything that had orange. I was surprised. That was about the only blingy orange thing that was in the whole batch. But it's still fun. Like these have the beads and, you know, has some shiny stuff too that can be used. So that was my orange lot. And this one has some blue stuff. Ooh, look at these. These are like humongous. You got those two big things. And then look. And then they have a baby one there. How cute is that? Yes, Sandra, I used a soldering gun on that. If you later on, if you go back to the beginning, I'm showing all the supplies that you'll need if you want to learn how to halfway solder with us. We're gonna start doing that next weekend. I've got a sale tomorrow, 8 p.m. Central Time. Tomorrow, but then next week we'll play with some soldering. Look at these. Look. Tear those apart. Look. Pretty cool. And this has black stuff. Black and silver stuff. Look at that cute bird. So needless to say, I have plenty of stuff to play with. Whoops. So that should be fun. That's cool just the way it is. Oh, that's pretty too. I mean, that's an example of the black stuff. A comprehensive tour of how I organize. Well, I do have a video. I mean, not how I organize. Well, yeah, I have a video of my whole studio. I did that maybe about a year ago or something like that. And the front room here that I'm in right now is where I have what you would call my mixed media stuff. It's got all my paints and varnishes and gesso and, you know, things like that. And stuff I've already made. And this is where I conduct my workshops in this area. And then because this is where I'm in right now is a, what they call a shotgun house. And so it's just like 3 consecutive, well, maybe 4 consecutive rooms. And so the first room is where I do my workshops and stuff and have my mixed media stuff. And pretty much everything is by color, like even my paints. You know, when I bring my paint out, I got, you know, all my yellows together, all my blues together, you know, so that's all put together like that. And then, that. And then in the other room, which is supposed to be the kitchen, then I have all my stuff in there that I do with my my eco printing, because I use a stove, and I got all my papers over there that I make and papers that I will use in the future to print on. And so that's how I have that organized. And then in the next room, which is supposed to be the bedroom, that's my sewing room, and everything that has to do with sewing is over there. And I have them piled up in color, not types of fabric, but colors of fabric. So if someone says, oh, I need an orange, I know where all my oranges are and I can go there and get the orange. And then in a sub organization, I have my ethnic type of fabrics separated and put together if they're, really inclined, to be a certain type as opposed to just regular fabric. So I have my Asian fabric all together in one place. I have my Indian fabric all together in one place. I have my Hawaiian fabric all in one place, my African fabric all in one place. So that if I want to do a certain journal like that, I know exactly where it is. And I have all my rested fabric in one spot. So I can just go straight to my rested fabrics. I know where that is. And in the next room, it's a very small room that was going to be like a washroom. That's where I have all of my books. All the books are there. Stuff that I've made that's in my Etsy shop. I have shelves back there. I have my stuff that's for sale in Etsy. And so even though I got a lot of junk all over the place, that's why usually when I say, oh, wait, let me go get that. And I come back pretty quick. I usually know where, I usually kind of know where my stuff is. And those of you that have come to my workshops, I got a lot of junk all over the place, but I know where everything is. Look how cool that is. Anyway, that's all the turquoise stuff. Darla, yeah, that's if you need another house. Yes, I do have a separate house. I'll tell you the short version of the long story. When we live in an old Victorian home that we refurbished, and when we came to purchase the home, there was this shack next door that was also for sale. And so when we negotiated for the house that we were purchasing, the same woman owned both homes. And so we basically negotiated to get, we didn't lower her asking price, but we asked her to throw in the shack for free, basically. And she agreed after a little negotiation back and forth. And because my husband and my background is construction, so nothing scares me. And even though the average person would probably say, tear that thing down, I said, no way, Jose. That is an old home. It's got some beautiful character, even though it looks like a shack. So we didn't do anything to it for, I don't know, maybe about 3 years because we were busy doing our home that we live in. And then we decided to start working on this house, the little house, hoping that my parents would want to come back here and live next door. And that way, as they got older, we could take care of them and, have fun with them and be around them because they live in California. Well, that didn't work out because my parents are extremely independent, and they live in sunny California and they have a beautiful home, and I don't blame them. I don't blame them for not wanting to leave. So, but what we did was fixed it up. They were going to come out for a visit. So I told my husband, we got 3 months to fix up this place. Let's do it. And then when they come, they can stay in the little house all finished and they can get a feel, for what it would be like if they were here. Well, anyway, so that what made us get this house done really fast. We remodeled the whole thing, made a whole new kitchen, remodeled the bathroom, obviously painted everything. We had already put new windows in it, so that was all set. And we tore up the floor and the tiny little porch in the front because that thing was ready to fall over. And we did that. And a few years before, we had a really bad storm come through, and it ruined the roof. So our insurance paid for a new roof. So we had a new roof. So we were all set to go. So, and they liked it, but they're just not ready to leave California, which I don't blame them. Okay, so fast forward, this little place here was empty for like 2 or 3 years, just sitting here, empty. And my husband kept saying, why? And in our main home, we have a converted attic that was converted into living space. And before we bought it. And so my studio was basically up there. Well, it was hard to keep it really cool in the summer, even though it had air conditioning and, just one thing after another. And so my husband kept saying, why don't you just go next door? And I kept fighting it and fighting it. And when I finally figured out why I was fighting it, then I let go. Because the reason I didn't want to move in here was because to me, that was acknowledging that they're not going to come. And so in my head, they were still going to always come. In my fantasy world, they were still going to come, and they were going to be next door. We would all be, one of the big happy family. And so in moving my studio over, it was like my final resignation, that acknowledgement that, nope, they're not coming. So that's why it took me so long. So I moved all my stuff over, and here I am. In my little shotgun house. It's about a little under 800 square feet. I think it is 800 square feet. That's right. It's 800 square feet, and maybe just a few square feet a little bit bigger than that. So so my studio's next door. So sometimes when I'm saying, oh, I came on because it's raining, I don't want to go home. Well, it's just going next door, but I still don't want to get, drenched. So I'll come online and talk and play with you guys until the rain goes down, and then I'll run home. So this is where I have my workshops. When I have my studio workshops are here. And ooh, look at that. Pretty. But anyway, I guess that wasn't such a short story, but you know me, I can't tell short stories. It could have been longer. I tried to make it short. So that's why I have so much junk, but that's also why I can organize it, because I have the space to organize. So have I stayed overnight? No, I haven't stayed overnight because there's no bed. Oh, one time I stayed up all night here, but that wasn't by choice. What happened was, oh my goodness, you want to talk about a husband getting in trouble? No, he didn't get in trouble. He felt bad. He just kind of like automatically locked the door to the house, because I was over here and he went to bed. And just by habit, he let the dogs out, he let the dogs back in, and then he locked the door. Well, I didn't have a key to get into the house because he never locks the door. And the crazy dogs, I knocked, the crazy dogs didn't even wake up. They didn't bark. They didn't wake him up. And the way the house is situated, I knew he would never hear me knocking. So I just came back and started playing here in the studio. And then around 6 o'clock in the morning, he comes over like in a panic. I think he thought like maybe I'd had a heart attack or something, because he gets up in the morning and I'm not there. And he's wondering, oh no, what happened to her, And I said, you kind of sort of locked me out. And he felt really bad. Okay, so that's my junk story. You put that over there, get this out of here. Look what I found at the Dollar Tree. Just because I did my little weaving, now I think I'm real sassy and I need a book about all these different cool yarns. Not that I'll ever do any of this, but I just thought it was fun to get. $1, you know? Look how pretty. Cool. I don't know how women do that. I don't even understand how to do it. But I think it looks cool. And then I don't know. I do know I would never have the patience to do it. That I do know. I can't knit or crochet without patience, let alone doing my own threads and stuff. That's just crazy time for me. But it looks cool. Uh-oh. Don't even ask. I don't know what that is. Ooh, now see those colors. Look at those colors. How beautiful. Oh, no, CJ, you do all this stuff. See, I do not have the patience for this. I really admire people that can do it. I think I'm just plain lazy, I guess. Look, all the dyeing. That's pretty. Oh, then you must have had a lot of fun, CJ, watching me try to figure out that loom. That was hysterical. And then I did it wrong anyway, but it was fun. I had fun. So I'm not going to complain. But see, even when I don't know what I'm doing, I have fun. So those are cute. So anyway, if you guys do this or interested or just like the pictures, you might have it at your local Dollar Tree. I just got it today. There you go. Look how cute. Okay, what else am I missing? I know I'm missing everything. Oh, see, I'm jealous about you guys knowing how to do all that stuff. Oh, that tatting stuff would drive me crazy. It's so beautiful, though. I know. I just look at that stuff and it gives me a headache. Just wrapping my head around it. Australia seems to get dry and winds and fires just like California does. Very similar. Where did I get the jewelry? I got it from what's her name? I went blank. Oh, how awful. Now I can't say her name because then you'll know I forgot her name for a second. Hi, Jan. Did I say hi, Sandra? I think I missed people. I got it from Michelle. I was stalling there for a while. I got it from Michelle. The jewelry. All right. Other questions do you have? Or are we going to wrap this up? I'm going to be offering some of my rested fabric tomorrow too. I went through a lot of the pieces, the latest pieces I did, and a couple of pieces of my old ones that I held on to, but I'm going to let them go. Oh. Gum trees. Darla. Yeah, I know. You've been working overtime just for my sale. Thank you. Now, you guys got to be very gentle with me because this is my first sale that I've done on my own. I've done 2 sales, which was about a year ago. I did one with Jessica over a year ago. That was way over a year ago. I did one with Jessica. And then probably about a year ago, I did one with Patty. And that's it. Only 2. And I've never done one alone. So, oh, the eucalyptus. Oh, yeah. Well, California is full of eucalyptus trees too. And so many of them, they just all got all in the areas, where there's very few left. They burnt up too. I think you were, Darla. Darla gets around. I think Darla needs to help me moderate tomorrow. What do you guys think? She's good at it. I'll just put you one for each thing, and you won't have to. And then you can just tell me which ones you opt out on. That way you're not nervous. Yeah, that flat pricing helps. Yes, Tammy. I'm having a sale tomorrow at 8 o'clock Central Time. And I'm launching. Oh, where's my paper? I'm hyping it really. I'm hyping it. I'm hyping it so well that I don't even have my stuff available to show you. Oh, yeah, here we go. You can see how together I got this. This is going to be the Silk Road collection that we're buying tomorrow. Selling tomorrow. You're buying, I'm selling. You start a new job. Is that the one taking care of the elderly? Is that the one you talked about? That's cool. Yeah, Darla is a pro. That's for sure. Oh, 7 to 7. Oh, no, Tammy. I don't have anything blue, though, I don't think. I don't think you're going to be missing. Oh, no, I do have blue stuff. Uh-oh. But I'm not going to be selling any books. So You're not missing out on any books. Yeah, you have to see. Yeah, you'll have to sneak in and out because all of my stuff is very affordable. Um, most of the stuff is either 5, 10, or $15. I've got everything already, separated into different kinds of packs. And there's only 2 items that will be a little more expensive. Um, and it's because they're a little more expensive. And I don't have anything blue. Well, this is like a purple that's got more yellow, so I don't think it'd be your cup of tea anyway. These are the only things that are going to be more expensive. These, because I hope my camera doesn't go crazy, because these are either highly embroidered or they have a lot of beadwork, one or the other, and because they're old. So, she likes yellow too. I'm not going to have any rose kind of stuff. Mine's not going to be like vintagey type of stuff. I'm not going to have anything like that. Although I do have a whole bunch. I don't think I'll get to it because I don't have a lot of stuff, but I'm looking around me and I think I do have a lot of stuff that we're going to be selling tomorrow. But I do also have a bunch of quilt that I've cut apart and I'm ready to get those going. So if this part goes fast, I'll bring out the quilts. If not, it'll just have to be another day. Anyway, this isn't really a blue. I know it looks like it's a blue, but it's more of a purple. Let's see, this one. These are, like I said, these are the only things are a little more expensive than the other stuff. Like this one's $20. Everything else is cheaper. Uh-oh. Doesn't like it. Oh. Uh-oh, I'm going to have problems when I show these. I can already tell that already. I have to put my hand over them. And these are mirrors. Whoop! See, it doesn't like the mirrors. Holy moly. Okay. And these are yolks, but they're from Tibet. So I think the look, they stole it from the 70s look they stole from the East, the Middle East, the Far East. And then this is all beaded. And these are from ceremonial outfits. They've been cut apart, Anyway, I think they're pretty cool. So you had a little peek, Tammy. Yeah, it was. It was doing the belly dance. Oh, how cool. I have a skirt. Oh my goodness. It must be about 25 years old. And it's got, Middle Eastern kind of look to it. I've always gravitated toward that stuff always. I've never really gone with what was in style or what the trends were. I've always liked the same stuff and I've always bought the same stuff. So when I meet people and I see people I haven't seen in years and years and years, the first thing they always say is, "Oh, you haven't changed." I like the same stuff. I do the same stuff. I wear the same kind of things. You're welcome, Tammy. Yeah, a trendsetter I'm not. Or a trend follower. Maybe a trendsetter, but not a follower. Ugh. Okay, that would be great, Darla. Yeah. Okay. Oh, yeah. I'm thinking. Yeah, like for instance, like the Cantha quilts. Some of them I see right here, like from one particular quilt, I might have 10 pieces. So I think I'll write a list out for you as far as the types of stuff, and we'll give it a number, and then we'll try and get organized that way. I'll do that after I get off of here, and maybe that'll help us. Maybe I'll make it more confusing. I don't know. Yeah, because what I did, like with where am I? I've got labels on, yeah, most stuff. Like I did my let's see. Like for instance, even just like these, like I'll put these all out and show what's inside of all of them. And then I have X amount of them, and I have the price on there, and then I can, on some of them I can actually just write the name. But if you're just going to write me the list, I won't have to do all that. This is the one that has all the little churn stuff. Yeah, that'll work. Be safe, Donna. That's scary to be in that situation, especially with your animals. You know, you just can't get up and go. Scary. All right, ladies. So I hope you have your list if you're going to do the soldering. And if you're not sure and you don't want to buy all the stuff, well, then you wait till next weekend and then we actually play around with it. And it might give you the confidence, and then you can go out and buy your stuff. I guess that's the best way to look at it. Yeah. All right. Any other questions, ladies? I don't want to get a project started. It's too late. Plus, I don't want to make a big old mess um, that I have to clean up for tomorrow. Hello, Dina. Right. I don't want to get any solder on the goods. That's right. Plus, it's too cold to crack open the window right now. It's like 30 something. Good night, Jennifer. Yeah, this morning when I got up, there was frost on our deck and on the roof. I got a lot of orange tomorrow, Jennifer. She's going to have a good sleep. Betty, I didn't know you were here. That Betty, she's such a sneak. Betty, I found those, hold on. I found those pieces of the tree. I knew I had more than just that scrap piece. Is this one of them? No. So I've got, let me see now, which is the scrap one and which is the real piece? Okay, that's when I had your name. This was the scrap. Why don't you just tell me now so people don't get mad tomorrow at me? This was the scrap piece that I put your name on, all right? And then this is another piece, but it's just the branches. You know, this is the one that has obviously the trunk. Whoops! Whoa, 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 whoa. The trunk. And this one has branches. And this one also has just branches. But for some reason, I think the scrap for what you're doing, the scrap one, I think is the better one because it has the actual trunk. What do you think? Oops, I did that backwards. I actually think this one's better. Okay, perfect. I'll do that. I'll put this one aside. As far as the branches, they're pretty much both. Well, this one looks more like a tree, I think. Yeah, this one looks a little bit more like a tree than the other one. The other one's just all branches. Yeah, this one's better. Okay, that answers that question. We'll just put this one up. With Betty Scraps. There we go. Keep it organized. Keep it organized, Rosemary. Okay. Oh, you want the other one? Okie dokie, CJ. That one, I'm guessing. Yeah. Yeah, those are the only ones that had trees. All the rest just has the other colors. Alrighty. There we go. Alrighty then. I guess that's it, ladies. I will see you tomorrow. If you are able, I will see you guys tomorrow at 8 Central Time. Be here or be square. That's all I can say. Sorry you got here late, Jan. But we'll be back tomorrow, 8 o'clock Central Time, USA. Not sure where you are. And we'll be having some fun. Even if you're not in the mood to buy, we still have fun. We'll have fun no matter what. Okay, good night, everybody. Thank you again. Oh, it's morning time, Dina. Uh-oh. Good. Good morning. I hope you have a good day. Good morning, everybody.